Yes, the life is certainly getting harder with the tariff increase as just announced. Look, if you look at the EU is exporting roughly 4 million tons to the US every year. This is roughly 20% of all the exports out of Europe going into the US. So US is the largest trade partner when it comes to steel out of Europe. That, I think, underlines the importance of having a stable and a positive trade framework between the two regions. Hence, I also very much support the ongoing discussions between Brussels and Washington on a possible trade agreement, which certainly would bring stability into the overall situation, which is, pretty difficult for us to work on as an industry right now.
What I would like to understand here is what is your message for the negotiating team of the European Commission? Because if we take a step back and look at what has been happening, steel tariffs have been the ones that the European Union did not manage to totally eliminate or to really put on pause. So going forward, what is your working assumption and what are you hoping the European Commission to do?
Well, best outcome for us would be an agreement which is sort of framing a discussion that has happened already 2 years ago, where both regions discussed the Global Sustainable Steel Agreement, basically tackling two topics. And the most important topic is overcapacity for steel production on the globe, especially coming from Asia. And then also the question of CO2 within steel. If both regions could come to an agreement, a bilateral agreement, tackling those two and bringing stability in the trade discussion between the US and Europe, that would be certainly be very much welcomed, because ultimately stability is trust. And trust is business for both sides of the Atlantic. And we shouldn't forget, US is a net importer of steel. Roughly 27 million tons of steel are imported every year from the US, of which EU is delivering 14%. So cutting off those 14% imports will certainly also have a negative impact on the US steel industry and the US industry as such.
But realistically speaking, do you actually expect all of the tariffs on steel to be eliminated?
Well, I don't think this will be the outcome of any first step, right? Ultimately, this should be the case for both sides. Yeah? So steel imports into the US coming out of Europe and vice versa should not be hampered by tariffs at all. Realistically speaking, as you said, I don't expect this to happen straight away. But ultimately, that needs to be the goal. And yes, I'm confident at least that we get this process going, and a more trustful discussion and negotiation on the reduction of tariffs as they are proposed right now.